What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 short squeeze stocks that you need to add to your watch list. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So not in any particular order. First one is ticker GO, sitting at 18.15. Over the last 1 year, pretty much flat, but over the last 5 days, it is up 34.09%. This is what they do. So if you are curious, feel free to pause it and go through it. It is food retail. That's the industry. 2,000 employees based out of the States. And right now, 17.93% of the free float is being shorted. Works to be 16.79 million shares overall are being shorted. And shorts have really started to double down. So there was a massive jump between kind of mid-June to where we are now, and even a greater jump from January. So definitely shorts have started to pounce. And this is why I like to choose stocks that have some good pre-existing momentum, and in many cases shorts are overextended and continuously doubling down. But even at the time of doing this video, shorts are increasing roughly around 36,000 shares. Cost to borrow average is fairly low, so it is 0.57%. That's an annual rate, not a daily rate. So something to keep in mind. Short score, higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is sitting at 65.32, and that is on the low end because of the cost to borrow. But there's a lot of other good information up top here. One thing I want to draw to your attention though is the DTC. Higher the number, the higher the magnitude potentially of a squeeze, because that does factor in the average volume in comparison to how many shares are being shorted. But one additional thing I do want to show you though is through IBKR, it does indicate roughly around 900,000 shares is available to be shorted. Reason why I bring that up is typically with stocks that have low amount of available shares, you might be seeing some buying coming from big players just to lend out. So again, that could potentially happen with this stock, although the cost to borrow is kind of on the low end, so it might not be on a lot of people's radar for that, just to buy and lend out. But moving on to the next one, you do have ticker VSAT sitting at 27.31. Over the last 1 year, it is up 55.7%, and then over the last 5 days, up 69.02. This is what they do, if you are curious again. So it is similarly based in the States. Right now, 20.82% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 23.25 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow is similarly on the low end, so 1.54%. Short score is 60.53. Shorts have been kind of sticking between that kind of 20 to 23% range for the last several months. So they've been lingering. DTC is very high, so 6.62 days. So again, kind of signals that shorts are very overextended and have been lingering. And if you're one of those individuals as well that believes that there's naked shorting and whatever, this technically there's some signs of it. So shares on loan is 10.58 million, and right now 23.25 million shares are being shorted. So there is more shares being shorted than on loan. So a very clear sign that some sketchiness is happening behind the scenes. And there is 1.3 million shares available to be shorted. So most likely you won't be seeing any buying behind the scenes with this stock. Moving on to the next one, ticker is GNS. So a lot of people have traded this, very popular stock, and we've seen nice price appreciations recently, when it went from roughly like 42 cents to a high of $1.58. So right now sitting at $1.17 over the last 1 year, it is up 13.3%. And then over the last 5 days, up 24.87. This is what they do. So education services based out of Singapore, but 3.31% of the free float is being shorted. So this is as well something I wanted to share with you, is that I don't always choose the most heavily shorted stocks. I choose stocks that sometimes are in the 5% range of the free float being shorted, because it's all about momentum and in general just shorts being overextended. So I think a lot of these stocks either do continue to have a very nice appreciation in the price, or they do actually have a legitimate squeeze. Currently, 2.62 million shares overall are being shorted. Short score is 61.95, and then cost to borrow average is 42.23. So this is another stock that you need to add to your watch list. Moving on to the next one, ticker is CTEV, sitting at 51.32. Over the last 1 year, it is up 217%. Over the last 5 days, up 28.72. This is what they do. So based out of good old New York, York in the States, healthcare technology, 2,700 employees, and 13.84% of the free float is being shorted, which does work out to be 769.2 thousand shares overall are being shorted. So this is exactly what the market does like to squeeze. Heavily shorted somewhat and just a low float. So this does meet that criteria. As far as cost to borrow, it's similar to the first two stocks, very low, so 0.84%. Short score is 69.15. DTC, very high, so 6.84 days. And then through IBKR, it does indicate 25,000 shares is available to be shorted. So based on the cost to borrow, you might not be seeing any buying, but this stock definitely does have some good pre-existing momentum that you need to definitely add to your watch list because of that alone. So moving on to the last stock, ticker is CYRX, sitting at 871. Over the last 1 year, it is up 11.94%, and then over the last 5 days, up just shy of about 20%. This is what they do. So based out of the States, life sciences, tools and services, 1,000 or just shy of 1,100 employees. 6.49% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 2.6 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow kind of on the low end as well, so 0.68%. Shorts have been kind of sticking between that 6 to 8% range for the majority of 2025. Short score 47.27, DTC, very high stuff. So with a lot of these stocks, if they do continue their good momentum, shorts will be forced to either like double, triple, quadruple down, or admit defeat and start taking the loss. There's roughly around 550,000 shares available to be shorted through IBKR. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Is there any other squeeze plays that you feel could really appreciate or whatever else? So if so, drop some tickers in the description below. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I do give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.